After I saw this, I thought to myself, I love this decision, LeBron staying with the Lakers. I think LeBron staying with the Lakers at this point in his career, the best move LeBron can make is a legacy move for his son, Bronny James. If you stay with the Lakers, at least you can do this. You can ensure that Bronny James can stay in the NBA for the next 8 to 12 years. If you leave the Lakers, then you're leaving Bronny James kind of to just be stuck in the wilderness of the NBA. You don't know if he'll make it. You don't know if he won't make it. But at this point in LeBron's career, I don't know what another ring will do. Yeah. I don't know what another playoff appearance will do. I don't know what another deep playoff run just to lose in the conference finals or lose in the NBA finals will do. But I do know this. More than anything, you can set your son, Bronny, up, who got drafted last year, second round, I think 55th overall pick. You can set him up for success going forward. T just started off the show. James started off the show talking about their kids. I would say, and I can't speak for them, but I can guess for them, that nothing is more important to them in this life than their kids. So if LeBron can set his child Bronny up for the future, then that's worth it. I don't know that the Lakers are going to compete for titles. I don't know that the Lakers are going to compete for championships, but LeBron can do something that is even more important at this stage in his career than a title, which is setting his son Bronny up. So I don't think, James, it's a mistake to stay with the Lakers. How do you feel?
I absolutely love this decision, and one of the main decisions was Bronny.
Yeah.
Your son is here. You said, I want to play with my son. You played with him this year. Continue to play with him. LeBron probably has 2 more years in the NBA. Enjoy it with your son. Enjoy it with your family. Don't have to move him again. And then not only that, where are you going? OKC? Mm-hmm. I mean, where are you going? Like, LeBron trying to go out there and get with another big 3 or to chase another ring and all that. No, stay put. See if they can add some pieces here with the Lakers. They already gave you Luka. I absolutely love his decision to stay here, man, and play. Obviously, he has a lot of things going on here, but I think this is the right place for him to be, too, with a chance to compete with Luka on the side of him.
I love it. Y'all know I love it. And anytime you're making $52 million, you know what I'm saying? It's never a mistake. We ain't making $52 million mistakes, right? Yeah. But what Acho said to me is so important is his son is here.
No doubt.
And LeBron is going to play as long as Bronny has not established himself. Yeah. So I say 2 years because within Bronny going into his 4th year, he's going to show whether he's a player or he's not a player. And at that point, it's like LeBron lead the Lakers, he can't look after Bronny. And as a parent, we going to look after our children. And so I love it. But where else could he have gone and made $52 million? OKC, they not giving LeBron $52 million. The Boston Celtics, they're not going to get LeBron 50. So what team could he have gone to, be competitive, and also make $52 million? Right. And so, to me, I like it because if we had a big, we right there.
Correct. And that's the thing. when I think about the West, right, and I want to remind y'all of the standings, the Western Conference picture is so close that, to T's point, unless you're going to play for the reigning champ Oklahoma City Thunder, you might as well stay on the Lakers.
Exactly.
The gap between the 2 seed and the 8 seed in the Western Conference was simply 4 games. The gap between the 2 seed, y'all, and the 8 seed was 4 games. Every team from the 2 seed to the 10 seed in the West, they have deficiencies. The Rockets, we don't know what they're going to look like. Their deficiency is a lack of chemistry. Kevin Durant just got there. You see the Denver Nuggets, their deficiency, they don't have a head coach. They're still trying to stabilize from a coaching perspective. Plus, some of the star players are starting to get older and more injured. The Clippers, they've never gone past the 2nd round. Obviously, the Lakers, they need a big, and Austin Reeves needs to figure out if he can show up in the playoffs. The Minnesota Timberwolves, Randolph, what is he doing as a number 2? And Ant-Man, he still has to figure out how to score in the playoffs. The Warriors are old. And the Grizzlies are led by Ja Morant, and now with Bane out the window, who knows what they're going to do. The Dallas Mavericks are sitting there as a 9-10 seed, and even the Mavericks are trying to figure out what they can do from a health perspective, and they're going to have to be highly dependent on a rookie in Cooper Flagg. You might as well stay in L.A. because outside of the Thunder, the Lakers give you just as good a shot to win as anybody else.
And not only that, like, Tino, I mean, you don't got no kids. The toughest thing to do in your career is keep moving them. You know, and I know his kids are older, and I know he still has a young daughter, but when you just keep, hey, you at this school, you at that school, like, you were blessed, I was blessed to play at a place for a long time, but at the end of our career, we did bounce around a little bit, and it's like, man, you know what?
Yeah.
It's done with that movie, man. I'm going to stay put, my son here, family here, everybody good. and you got a chance.
Mahomes, y'all see the list. Myles Garrett, Saquon Barkley, Josh Allen, Justin Jefferson, Lamar Jackson, but ahead of Jamar Chase, Surtain, and Micah Parsons rounding out the top 10. For the sake of this conversation, T, focusing on the team that drafted you, if I am not mistaken, that is the Cincinnati Bengals, a team that you're more familiar with than any other team in the NFL. You have an issue with cool Joe Burrow being ranked the 7th best player in the NFL.
Man, when you do this ranking and Joe Burrow's number 7, your list ain't valid. It don't make no sense.
Why?
Straight up and down. Now, you looking like that.
Yeah.
So now, James Jones and Emmanuel, y'all the general managers. Let me ask you this.
Okay, so now that's
I'm going to call James Jones and Emmanuel Acho, the general manager, and I'm going to say, hey, guys, trade me Myles Garrett and all 4 of your quarterbacks. I'll give you Joe Burrow. You making that trade?
Of course.
Of course you are.
Of course.
That's different.
No, hold up.
Go ahead, go listening.
Go ahead.
Hey, Mr. Jones, Mr. Acho.
Yeah.
I want to trade Joe Burrow to you guys, but I want you to give me Saquon and Jalen Hurts. You gonna do that?
Of course.
Of course you gonna do that. Yeah. Hey, one more call. Mr. Jones and Mr. Acho.
Hold on, let me call you back.
I want J.J. McCarthy and Justin Jefferson. I'm gonna send you Joe Burrow. You gonna do that?
Yes, I'm doing
Of course you gonna do it. And you gonna have him behind those guys? Now, to me, Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen. No order. Those are the 4. They special. They're in a league of their own. So when you have him number 7, that's disrespectful. That don't make no sense because everybody, all those guys in front of them that I just named, their teams would trade them and something else for Joe Burrow.
A different conversation. I feel like the conversation T is subtly having is who are the top 10 most valuable players? Because for me, Joe Burrow is not undoubtedly the best player at his position. Saquon Barkley is. Myles Garrett might not be undoubtedly the best player at his position because of T.J. Watt, but Myles Garrett is a future first-ballot Hall of Famer. Saquon Barkley likely as well. I don't mind putting first-ballot Hall of Famers, people that are either undoubtedly or more than likely Justin Jefferson, the best player at the position, ahead of cool Joe Burrow. I think 7 is actually a perfect landing spot for Joe Burrow on this list. Now, obviously, I'm going to give you a non-quarterback for a quarterback. You can take Saquon, give me Joe.
100%.
You can take Myles, give me Joe. But Myles Garrett is better at what he does than Joe Burrow is at what he does.
I don't know. I wouldn't agree with that.
How?
I wouldn't. I wouldn't agree. I wouldn't agree with that.
How, sir? Joe Burrow ain't got no All-Pros, not a first team nor a second team. No. Joe Burrow has 1 Pro Bowl. Myles Garrett has a Defensive Player of the Year. Forget an All-Pro. I'm better than everybody in football that plays defense. Joe Burrow cannot say that, sir. You got to break down how Joe Burrow might be as good as Myles.
No, Joe Burrow can say that, and there's many that would agree with him. Not all. If Joe Burrow said, I'm the best player in the league, there are many people that would agree with him. Many.
Aren't Bengals fans?
Non-Bengals fans. The way Joe has been injured. When Joe is not injured, he's one of the best, if not the best quarterback in the league.
I agree.
2 Pro Bowls, T. That's it.
But I do agree.
No All-Pros.
Better quarterback. None.
The fact that Joe Burrow has no All-Pros and I do is crazy. That's crazy.
I'm just saying.
That's crazy. Think about that. Like, I have him, and he does it is crazy. But
one of the best at your position.
I got 2 of them. This is the thing, though. This is the thing, is I just look at the Bengals have come so far, and they still have so far to go when it comes to other organizations.
Yeah.
To take them to the Super Bowl, because I know
what that means.
That's a lot. Like, he's in a situation where he's always fighting uphill. Look, the Eagles. You get drafted to the Philadelphia Eagles, I don't think people realize how lucky you are. Like, that's a gift to be drafted to an organization. I'm not saying it's a curse to go to the Bengals, but it's harder. It's harder, and to do what he's done there, and all those guys, I'm not saying they can't play. They're great players.
No doubt.
Myles Garrett, to me, is the best pass rusher in the league. But I want Joe Burrow.
Yeah, because, I mean, it's the quarterback. I have no problem with it. Joe Burrow's one of the baddest men in the NFL. So I have no problem with him being in the top 10. I disagree with TJ thinking he should be in the top 5 and all that when you're arguably the 4th best quarterback in the league, and we arguing should you be in front of the best pass rusher in the league or the best receiver in the league or the best running back in the league. So I don't mind this because Joe Burrow's a bad man, but at the end of the day, though, Joe Burrow could be going on year 3 with no playoffs. He was healthy all year last year, T, and his team did not make the playoffs. But I still don't have a problem with it because everything you said, T, about him being a bad man, that is Joe.
That's true.
Joe is that. And I would trade Saquon Barkley straight up for Joe Burrow. You would because you need a quarterback for your franchise. But when you talk about the best players, I can't put him in the top 5 and you're the 4th best at your position. I just can't do that.
Where I will agree with T, and I think this is the most fascinating, undiscussed conversation in all of sports, is the fact that the Bengals were so bad and Joe Burrow made them so good. I was drafted to the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, good.
You were drafted to the Bengals. You were drafted to the Packers. So you don't understand the poverty struggle of some of these poverty franchises. And I don't mean poverty necessarily by wealth. I mean poverty by mindset. I tell this story all the time. T, you can relate, James. You probably can't. My first day of training camp with the Cleveland Browns, I'm coming from the University of Texas. At the University of Texas, I played in a national championship game. My coach goes into the College Football Hall of Fame in Mac Brown. I know nothing besides winning. Yeah. When we lose, it's a surprise. Last 2 years at Texas, we lost. Surprise. I go to Cleveland. This is a true story. I'm in Cleveland. We just finished an incredible workout in the offseason. The offseason, you are living in a utopian society where everything will go well, everything will go right. Y'all are the best team in football. Our coach, he brings us all up. Hey, fellas, bring it in. You got about 53 palms raised in the middle of the circle, 53 of them. At that time, it's the offseason, so you really probably have closer to 90 fists raised into the circle. Helmets lifted above the head, beads of sweat beating down the face. Our coach, with everybody in the circle, he says this, hey, fellas, if y'all continue to practice like this, these kind of perfect bricks you're laying down, this foundation, we'll look up at the end of the season, we'll be 12-4. We'll be 13-3. And I'm sitting there with my fist up thinking to myself, did this mother sucker just give us losses? Like, wait, if we're perfect, you're assuming we're going to lose? I was like, oh, this is Cleveland. Even in your head, you've already lost games. In the offseason, it's, hey, fellas, we got a Super Bowl team. We do stuff like this, nobody can beat us. But with my fist raised, I'm like, oh, this is why Cleveland's sorry. Because the coach can't even believe the lie that they'll be good. And I'll never forget that moment because I was like, this is why they suck. And it's my first time there, so I am the they that sucks. And so when I think about the Joe Burrows, and that's why I fight so hard for the Baker Mayfield, it's not a Baker Mayfield conversation, but when I think about the Joe Burrows or people that resurrect poverty franchises, I'm like, y'all don't understand. That player walked into an organization where the coach and the whole organization already assumed they're going to lose and made them winners. For that reason, I give you that.
But that's why we put Joe in the top 4 right now, though.
Without having the All-Pros.
Without having the All-Pros, without being in the playoffs the last 2 years, we still say, with what Joe did, being the first overall pick, coming to Cincinnati, taking them to an AFC championship and a Super, we put him in them conversations because of that. You know what I'm saying? So I think Joe gets a lot of respect that he deserves and that he earned, and he's a bad man. Better get your butt to them playoffs.